7 places seniors should never visit after 65. Save your health. Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to our channel, where we share tips, stories, and wisdom to help you live your healthiest, happiest life in your golden years. I'm so glad you're here today because we're diving into a topic that's so important for all of us over 65, or anyone planning for their future. Today's video is called 7 places seniors should never visit after 65. Save your health. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've worked hard my whole life, and I deserve to travel, explore, and enjoy myself. And you're absolutely right. Traveling can be one of the greatest joys in life, especially when you finally have the time to see the world. But here's the thing. Our bodies and needs change as we age, and some destinations, while beautiful or exciting, can pose serious risks to our health and well-being. I'm not here to scare you or tell you to stay home forever. Far from it. I'm here as your friend, like a doctor or a neighbor who's seen a thing or two, to share some honest advice about places that might not be the best fit for us seniors. I'll explain why these spots can be risky, share some real-life stories, and give you tips to stay safe while still enjoying your adventures. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's talk about how to protect your health while living life to the fullest. Ready? Let's get started. 1. High-altitude destinations, e.g., Machu Picchu, Peru, or Tibet. Let's start with a place that's on so many bucket lists. High-altitude destinations like Machu Picchu in Peru or the stunning mountains of Tibet. These places are breathtaking, literally and figuratively. But here's why they can be a problem after 65. As we age, our bodies don't handle low oxygen levels as well. At high altitudes, the air is thinner and there's less oxygen available. This can lead to altitude sickness, which causes symptoms like dizziness, shortness of breath, and even heart strain. For seniors with heart conditions, lung issues, or even just lower stamina, this can be dangerous. I'll never forget my friend Susan, who's 68 and in pretty good shape. She went to Machu Picchu last year, so excited to check it off her list. But halfway up the trail, she started feeling lightheaded and had to be carried back down. It was terrifying for her, and she spent the rest of the trip recovering instead of exploring. The worst part? She didn't realize how her blood pressure medication could make altitude sickness even worse. Tip: if you must visit a high-altitude spot, talk to your doctor first. They might recommend medications or oxygen support. Better yet, consider lower-altitude destinations with similar vibes, like the ruins in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, which are closer to sea level. 2. Extreme heat destinations, e.g. Death Valley, USA, or the Sahara Desert. Next up, let's talk about places with extreme heat, like Death Valley in California or the Sahara Desert. These spots are incredible, but they're also some of the hottest places on Earth, with temperatures often exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius. For seniors, extreme heat can be a recipe for trouble. Our bodies don't regulate temperature as well as we age, and we're more prone to dehydration, heat exhaustion, or even heat stroke. Medications like diuretics or beta blockers, which many of us take, can make this worse by affecting how our bodies handle heat or fluids. I heard a story from a viewer named Tom, who's 70. He and his wife visited Death Valley in the summer, thinking they'd just stay hydrated. But within a few hours, Tom felt dizzy and nauseous, and they had to rush to a hospital. It was a wake-up call for them about how quickly heat can sneak up on you, especially when you're older. Tip: if you love warm destinations, stick to milder climates like San Diego or the Mediterranean in spring or fall. Always carry water, wear light clothing, and avoid outdoor activities during the hottest parts of the day. 3. Remote islands with limited medical access, e.g. Easter Island or the Galapagos. Now, who doesn't dream of visiting a remote island like Easter Island or the Galapagos? These places feel like stepping into another world. But here's the catch. They're often very far from quality medical care. As seniors, we need to be realistic about our health. Even if you're feeling great, unexpected issues like a fall, an infection, or a heart problem can happen. On a remote island, it could take hours or even days to get to a hospital. And when you're there, the facilities might not be equipped for complex care. I remember reading about a couple in their late 60s who went to a remote Pacific island. The husband had a minor stroke, but it took nearly 12 hours to get him to a proper hospital. Those hours made a big difference in his recovery. It's a heartbreaking reminder that access to care matters. Tip: choose destinations with good medical infrastructure nearby, like Hawaii or the Caribbean. If you're set on a remote spot, make sure your travel insurance covers medical evacuation and carry a list of your medications and conditions. For overcrowded tourist hotspots, e.g., Times Square, NYC, or Venice in peak season, let's talk about overcrowded tourist spots like Times Square in New York City or Venice, Italy, during peak season. These places are vibrant and iconic, but they can be overwhelming for seniors. Crowds mean more walking, standing, and navigating tight spaces, which can be exhausting or even risky if you have mobility issues or balance problems. There's also a higher chance of pickpocketing or getting separated from your group. Plus, the noise and chaos can spike stress levels, which isn't great for your heart or mental health. My cousin Linda, who's 67, visited Venice last summer. She was so excited, but the crowds were so intense that she tripped on a bridge and sprained her ankle. Instead of enjoying gelato and canals, she spent her trip icing her foot in the hotel. Tip: visit popular spots during off-peak seasons, like spring or fall, when crowds are thinner. Or explore less crowded alternatives, like Charleston, South Carolina, instead of Times Square, or Ljubljana, Slovenia, instead of Venice. 5. War zones or politically unstable areas, e.g., certain Middle Eastern or African regions. This one might seem obvious, but I have to mention war zones or politically unstable areas. I won't name specific countries because situations change, but you know the ones. Places with travel warnings from U.S. or U.K. governments. For seniors, the risks here are huge. Not only is there a chance of violence, but unstable areas often have poor health care, unreliable transportation, and limited access to food or water. Even a minor health issue could become a crisis in these conditions. A friend, Robert, who's 72, ignored a travel warning to visit a once-in-a-lifetime destination. He ended up stuck in a hotel for days during a protest, with no way to get his heart medication refilled. It was a stressful lesson in prioritizing safety. Tip: check travel advisories on sites like travel.state.gov or gov.uk before booking. Opt for stable, senior-friendly destinations like Canada, New Zealand, or Scandinavia, where safety and healthcare are top-notch. 6. Extreme adventure destinations, e.g., Mount Everest Base Camp or Antarctica. Next, let's talk about extreme adventure destinations like Mount Everest Base Camp or Antarctica. These trips are thrilling, but they're physically and mentally demanding in ways that can be tough for seniors. These places often involve long treks, harsh weather, and limited comforts. For example, Everest Base Camp requires days of hiking at high altitudes, and Antarctica cruises can mean rough seas and freezing temperatures. If you have arthritis, heart issues, or even just less energy, these trips can push your body too far. I know a gentleman named George, 66, who signed up for an Antarctica cruise. He thought it'd be a relaxing boat ride, but the choppy waters left him seasick and exhausted for days. He wished he'd chosen a calmer cruise, like one in the Norwegian fjords. Tip: if adventure calls, pick senior-friendly options, like a safari in South Africa with comfortable lodges or a river cruise in Europe. Always research the physical demands of a trip before booking. 7. Polluted megacities, e.g. Delhi, India, or Beijing, China. Finally, let's talk about heavily polluted megacities, like Delhi or Beijing. These cities are rich in culture and history, but air pollution can be a serious health hazard, especially for seniors. Poor air quality can worsen respiratory conditions like asthma or COPD, which many of us deal with. It can also irritate your eyes, throat, and lungs, making it hard to enjoy your trip. Long-term exposure, even for a week, can stress your heart and immune system. A viewer named Margaret, 69, shared her experience visiting a polluted city. She has mild asthma, but the smog was so bad that she could barely breathe and had to cut her trip short. She said it felt like breathing through a straw. Tip: choose cities with better air quality, like Stockholm, Vancouver, or Zurich. If you're visiting a city with pollution risks, Check air quality indexes online and consider wearing a mask or staying indoors on bad days. Well, my friends, there you have it. 7 places that might not be the best fit for us seniors after 65. I know it's tough to hear that some dream destinations could be risky, but the good news is there are so many incredible places that are perfect for our golden years. From the charming towns of Tuscany to the serene beaches of Costa Rica, the world is full of spots where we can explore, relax, and stay healthy. The key is to plan smart. Talk to your doctor before big trips, research your destination, and listen to your body. You've earned the right to enjoy every moment of this chapter. So let's make sure we're doing it safely. As I always say, living well isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you visited any of these places? Or do you have a favorite senior-friendly destination? Share your stories, and let's inspire each other to keep exploring. If you found this video helpful, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss our tips for healthy aging. Thank you for spending this time with me. You're not just viewers. You're a part of our family here. Stay healthy, stay happy, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.